I'm starry-eyed, got me upside down, spinning around you. Wanna taste the clouds, dance with.
Today I want to tell you a little bit about one of the biggest fashion trends in the last 3 decades, how it all started and where we are today.
I'm starry-eyed, got me upside down, spinning.
And the story is about these rubber bands. Not particularly about them, but in general. It all started with this little rubber band. But it's not a regular rubber band, because European rubber bands look entirely different. So we don't even talk about them at all.
Take a trip around your body, boy, I love the way you got me.
So in the mid-90s, all the cool NBA players were wearing these rubber bands on their wrists. And you may have seen the movie He Got Game with Ray Allen,
#1 high school prospect in these United States,
and Denzel Washington. So Ray Allen turned out to be one of the greatest shooters in the history of the NBA.
Foul. See Miami go for the three right away. Just attack the basket. James catches, puts up the three. Won't go. Rebound Bosch. Back out to Allen. His three-pointer. Bang! Tie game with 5 seconds remaining.
But back in the day when the movie was filmed, he was a rookie. He was just entering the NBA and he wore these regular wristbands, rubber bands on his wrist.
Jesus! Do everything in his power to cut your time here short.
Got me upside down, spinning around you. Wanna taste the clouds, dance with the moon.
So every hooper, basketball player, tried to get their hands on these rubber bands. Me included, of course. But it wasn't that easy, because you have to remember that in the mid-90s there was no internet.
You cover me in glitter till I'm shining bright. I never wanna leave the sky. The way you made me.
And Amazon wasn't invented either, so we ended up buying rubber bands for $100, okay? If we could even get our hands on, because you had to know someone who was capable of importing them from the United States. But in the year 2000 everything has changed, because Kevin Garnett, another basketball all-time great, his girlfriend was working in a rubber band factory and she customized some rubber bands for the US Dream Team and the Olympic Games in 2000. And this has changed everything. Not only wins Carter Stunk over Frederick Weiss 7-2. One of the best in-game dunks of all time. And a few years later, Lance Armstrong and Nike released these Live Strong rubber bands, and everybody and their grandmother wanted these yellow bands. And from that point on, it was history.
I'm starry-eyed, got me up.
This was not only for YouTubers and brands, it was basically for everybody. Every brand, everybody did something like that. And I've never met anyone in my life knowing this story, so you're welcome. You know the background to it. Of course, the people who grew up with me already know that. Maybe they've forgotten it by now because it's been a long time. But anyway. Oh, nice. Look, they're filming on skateboards. I like that. So whenever you see someone selling rubber bands, a company, a brand, anyone, you know the story behind it, and you should also ask them if they even know what they are doing. And if not, they are just most likely doing it because they do whatever anybody else does and they just want your money.
I'm starry-eyed, got me upside down, spinning around you. Wanna taste the clouds, dance with the moon. Take a trip around your body, boy.
Okay, bye-bye. So everything I do is for a reason.
Letters out of space, just keep painting constellations. You cover me in glitter till I'm shining bright. I never
Everything I do is for a purpose. I don't just create products just to create products. I mean, it makes no sense. I know what I'm doing, I like what I'm doing, and that's the reason why I drop cool products. And if I'm not convinced by a product, I'm not releasing it. It's that simple.
Wanna taste the clouds, dance with the moon. Take a trip around your body. Boy, I love the way you got me. Starry-eyed, got me starry-eyed. Couldn't fight if I wanted. Flying to places that I never thought I could go. You're a meteor shower, falling down all over me. Yeah, you're making me glow. I never thought I could go. Starry-eyed, got me starry-eyed. Yeah, got me upside down.
Look at that! That's called riding into the sunset.
Dance with